excited to have this guest today. Andre Paradis is definitely his own person, his own thoughts, perspectives, and I don't want it any other way. When it comes to my guest here on the Power Transformation Podcast, I gave you all a brief bio, a Cliff's Notes version of his bio, but now we are going to get into the heart of this interview. So, welcome, Andre. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Good morning. Happy to be here too.
Thank you so much. And let's go ahead and get started. Andre, if a person did not know you were who you are and came up and
Mm,
say, "Hey, I've heard about this man named Andre Paradis. What can you tell me about him? What's he
boy,
like? Who is he?" How
uh,
would you answer that person?
that's a hell of a question because my life is a novel. Like it's a ridiculous novel, really. So, born French Canadian in a family of five kids. I'm number four. At the age of five, I came to when my feelings and my thoughts came together because we can typically wake up at five consciously, right? Like boom, noticing my world, my reality. I realized I was born in the wrong family.
Mm,
No, that's really strange as a 5-year-old. I'm gonna tell you, that's really, really strange and really scary. These are not my people. They don't like me. I don't fit in. It's not working. Something is wrong. Wow, that's weird. So
mm,
with that, kind of realized I was literally gonna have to, on some level, raise myself because no one paid attention, right? And then what happened to me is out of like sort of understanding this ridiculous circumstances, this my life, my radar came, like my internal radar turned outward, and I started
mhm.
watching the world and people and trying to understand my circumstances, but also like what's going on out there. Like, why are we here? What's the meaning of life? Like, I'm not supposed to be here. I was born with that gut feeling. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm a mistake. Well, I was a mistake.
Mm.
I was a mistake, and it went right through my body, and I was born with it. So not nobody's fault. That was a mistake, right? So my mother,
You were you were unplanned, Andre, not a
right,
mistake.
but it came through as
No.
a it came
Uh-huh.
through as a mistake, and
Yeah,
it continued after my birth.
I
So it was
understand what you're
confirmed over
saying.
and over again by five. I'm like, oh, I get it. This is this. I'm not supposed to be here, right? And,
Mhm.
and I was treated like I was supposed to be here. So
I
if I'm not
got you.
supposed to be here, why am I here, right? So I really didn't think I was going to be here long, honestly, because I literally I don't. I'm not supposed to be here, right?
Mm.
So but I'm a kid, so it was kind of kind of a low energy depressed kid,
Mhm.
but I was watching the world, I was watching people, and at the age of five forward, and I became fascinated with the human condition from that perspective, right? In
Okay.
school I watched kids like, why is this one's got swag and all the girls are after him, and this one's a dork and this one's a math genius, but he can't even look in your eyes, and this
Mhm.
girl is kind of loose, this one's a little like how do we get to be us? It's bizarre. It's amazing, right? So circumstances. So that was my go-to. I was watching. I was the kid in the
Yeah.
corner watching. So with that, I became fascinated with the human condition and kind of continue watching the world. Um, Again, trying to figure out why am I here? Why am I here?
Mhm.
Anyway, long story. I went to a private high school that was connected to a college. So last year of high school into college, 3-year program. Um, And when I get to that, you know, uh, signing up for our classes because like college, you sign for your own classes. A
Mhm.
young girl came up to me that I knew from elementary school, but didn't think. I mean, secondary school. But I didn't think she knew. Anyway, she comes up to me and she says, "Oh my God, you want to take ballroom dancing with me? We need to sign as a couple. That I don't have. Could you want to do ballroom with me?" And I'm like, "What?" Right? And I'm like, cute little thing. Right? I'm a dork. I'm invisible. And I'm like,
Mm.
oh. Yeah, I get to hold her in my arms. So about a week later, sure enough, school started in dance class. First dance class, never had a class in my life. I'm 16 years old, teacher on my right, and all I could tell you is whatever he showed us, the first dance we did was a cha-cha, and whatever
Mhm.
he did, I could just copy it. Like it was right there, which was kind of bizarre because I don't know where it came from. It was a gift, but I had no idea, right? So
Yeah.
I go from invisible dork and 4 months into school, I'm like now the class star. All the girls want to dance with me because the guys aren't picking it up, and could dance with all the girls. I became the teacher's assistant. Da 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 da. So I go from invisible to okay, star student. Great, but I was such a miserable little kid that and you don't understand this, like the vibration of music, moving your bodies with the vibration of music coming together has a huge impact on your nervous system. Like there's a,
Hmm.
right? Like singers are really aware of this. When they hit that note, they start crying. This, like when vibrations kind of connect to a higher level, it's divine. It's divine. And so I actually smiled, I think, for the first time in my life in that class. Like I just like,
Hmm.
it just like lifted my spirit. Like the sad kid, all of a sudden, like, oh, well, this is good. This
Hmm.
feels good. Anyway, long story short, that's all I wanted to do. I was on track to be an architect. I started dancing. That's all I wanted to do. I took it from Montreal, from Quebec City, Canada, to Los Angeles, and made my
So
way all the
let
way.
me
Yeah,
jump in here. Let
please.
me pause you here. So if you could let me kind of tweak that
Yep,
question some because I
yep.
want to go back to a lot of what you had said. If you could use one adjective, and I know it's many because you're a multi-layered person just like everybody,
Hmm.
but if you could choose one adjective to really describe yourself, what would that adjective be?
Resilient.
Okay.
Period. I mean,
Brilliant.
that's the big
Yeah,
one. Otherwise, I wouldn't be
exactly.
here. Like, I wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
I
And
fought
so
all the way through. Yeah.
so it seems as if and thank you for actually telling us about that background in Canada because a question that came to mind was what's a key experience that shaped who you are today, but you've answered that in a sense of you having this sense of being a mistake and trying to really make sense of the world and understanding why you were there, which leads to that shift into your journey, Andre, as a professional dancer. So you're now starting to explain to us how that journey began, but also what was one of the biggest lessons that you learned during that phase of your life as you started to shift into being a professional dancer?
Okay. So, good question. That took a minute because, again, you understand that every feelings that we have in our bodies creates a chemistry in our brain. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? So mine was depression, low energy,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? So I start dancing and my spirit comes up. And so like the reason why I kept dancing is just because it gave me a reason to get up in the morning and continue for another day. That's
Hmm.
honestly, that's all it saved my life.
Yeah.
So I went from doing it on the side, I ended up getting a scholarship. What? I got a scholarship in jazz dancing in a studio, and I got another one. So all of a sudden, like I'm not paying for any of this. People like I'm being supported in the fact that I apparently have a disability that I
Hmm.
can explain. So so it kind of took me along, but I have to say, it took years. It took years for me to go from I'm miserable and I don't know where I'm here to well, this is okay. This is all right. I could do another
Hmm.
day of this, right? This is okay. I'm doing okay. And to well, maybe this could be, a good life. Maybe I could actually have like a regular normal life and
Hmm.
maybe really kind of and so in all that I discovered who I was, but the dancing over the years, literally the chemistry of doing all that together and constantly challenging my body, it cleared my brain. It literally like
Hmm.
dopamine, endorphins, and all the goodies you get from working out and sweating and pushing and fighting. You know what I mean? Like with your body, changed my brain. So I went from depressed to, wow, let's see what we could do with this life,
Hmm.
right? But by then I was like in my mid 20s, and that's when from that place if I'm going to do this and that's all I want to do, then I want to go all the way. So I moved to Los Angeles, right? And then I have my own Hollywood story. I don't know if you want to go there, but like the ridiculous Hollywood story, just being found in live at a party, discovered at a party. Come,
So
um,
so I I do think that's important because that, second part of the question was, what's a big lesson that you learned during that phase of your life? So give us the abbreviated minute or two version of that Hollywood story.
Oof. So, but at that time, I still didn't understand that there was a kind of a destiny already in place. It's
Mhm.
what I thought life was random, obviously from my circumstances, like this just a crapshoot. I thought so. I get to Hollywood on a Thursday night. By Saturday, there's a party in the space, a studio that we're rehearsing in because I'm there
Mhm.
to help a friend with his demo reel. So I'm going to be dance captain for a couple of weeks. I'm just vacationing with my girlfriend. Blah blah blah. Thursday night we're in town. Saturday night, there's a party at the studio. It's just a party for like commercial dancers in Los Angeles. I'm like
Mhm.
the people I want to be part of. And literally, I get scouted again. An older guy, everybody was young. This older guy comes up to me, introduced by my friend who I was here to help, and he said, I thought he was trying to pick me up, which was really weird. Like it was
Mhm.
really weird the way that was done. But he says, ultimately, he says, "Listen, I choreographed for a world show, a world tour that." And I lost one of my dancers 4 months ago. I've been auditioning in Los Angeles for 4 months. I can't find anyone to replace him. But
Wow.
you're exactly what I'm looking for. What do you say? What? I've been in town 2 days. I'm at a party, just like in the movies. Crazy
Mhm.
stuff. Anyway, so that was my first national tour job. I took the job because that's all I wanted to do. Now I'm going to get
Yeah.
paid, big time to dance. And so off I went for a year and a half on the road. And interesting in that, God, I was constantly fighting for my life. And all of a sudden, when you get a job like this, we're traveling by
Mhm.
bus. We're like, I don't know if you've ever like a tour bus with the bunkers.
Mhm. Yeah, wow.
Oh, it's so soothing, right?
Playing, yeah.
The noise of the bus, the rocking of the thing. You're laying down in that little bunk, and we're all stacked up with curtains, just like in the movies. Um, Even the night light at a book or whatever. But I had this space to stop fighting. I was kind of
Mm.
grooving all of a sudden. Never happened in my life. I was getting paid. There was plenty of space. I wasn't hustling anything. I was just like getting from venue to venue on the tour bus. And with that sort of space and time to think, I realized my heart was broken even bigger than I ever
Mm.
remembered. Like a cancer, right? My heart was broken as a kid. And as I pushed through my life and trying to conquer myself and trying to make sense of why I'm here, I push all that back. Emotionally, just kind of put a lid on it and just went fighting. So when I
Yeah.
get to things get comfortable, this hole in my heart is like now this big. It's like a cancer that grew. And I'm like,
Mm. Yeah.
man, really? Like, really? And so we had a break every 3 months, and everybody would fly to
Mhm.
Hawaii because we're on the road, so we don't have apartments and all that stuff. We're just literally just on the road, constantly. But the 2 week breaks we had between every quarter, people would fly to Hawaii, stay in a hotel for 2 weeks, come back on the road,
Mhm.
right? So because we had the cash. And anyway, I decided to fly back home and ask some serious questions about my mother, which is what I did.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
flew into Montreal. She picked me up. She's by herself. Oh, shit.
Yeah. That definitely took a lot of courage, for you to do something like
I,
that,
I,
especially when you
yeah,
felt it growing and growing. And I like the analogy of the cancer because if the cancer isn't caught or if it's not contained, it does spread.
yep, it
So
sure
in
did.
that moment with your mom, what happens next? How do you start a conversation like that?
So it's incredible. I'm right there right now. I'm choking.
Mhm.
I on the flight, and the closer I got to Montreal, the more freaked out I got, the more
Mm.
nervous, the more like, because I thought this is honestly what I thought. I thought I'm going to say, what the hell happened to me, and why do I feel this way, and what's this thing in my heart since I was born? Because I didn't know really at the time what had happened.
Mhm.
Why it was so bad, but I thought if she looks at me in the face, because she could be that sometimes. If she laughs in my face
Mhm.
at the airport, right? My heart's gonna stop and I'm gonna drop dead. Like
Mm.
she's gonna finish me off. That's what it felt like.
Mm.
Oh, and so crazy. I'm right there right now. So I got off the plane and she looked at me and she could tell there's something wrong. Um, I can't even make it to the car.
Wow.
So walking through the airport, I couldn't stand it. And I pushed her in a chair and I go, "We need to talk." And I said, "What the hell happened to me? What the hell
Mhm.
happened to me? When I was a baby, when I was a kid, did you ignore me? Did you push me in the crib and let me cry days on end? I like, what happened? Why do I feel like, what is this that I was
Mm.
born with?" And sort of like kind of spilled the whole thing on her. I couldn't even look at her again because I thought if she laughs in my face, I'm just gonna drop dead. Right?
Yeah.
It was that kind of. And like whatever long it took for me to spill everything out, it was maybe 10, 15 minutes. And I couldn't even look at her. I didn't need to get that out of me. And when I looked up, she was crying.
Mm, my goodness. My.
And then,
Although
yeah.
you're in that moment now, if you look back on it, did did you think anything when you saw her crying? Was it
Well,
confusion? Was it like hope?
well,
What? Yeah, how do you process that?
well, it was a relief because she wasn't laughing.
Mhm.
Because she could have been like, "What the hell's wrong with you? Get out of here!"
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you like the rest of them, and like that very much could have been. So by the time when I looked up and she's crying, so something was revealed, something was touched, something resonated, something like she knows something is wrong, and I'm calling it
Mhm.
out, and now she's realizing what happened to me, which she didn't know what happened to me. Did I mean? So as a mother, right? So she's crying, and then she answered the question. She answered the question. The question was, I was an accident. And she was one of those ladies that, she didn't have morning sickness for 3 months. She would puking the whole time with the pregnancy,
Oh,
nine
wow.
months. Right.
Mm.
So, and they're Catholics. So everyone was scheduled and every 3 years they had a baby until they were going to have six and whatever. So everyone's scheduled. So I don't know if they got drunk one night and there's a party and then here I come. Right. So
Mm.
I'm off schedule. I'm 2 years behind my sister, not supposed to be here. There it is. Right. She resented being pregnant because she was sick the whole time and they were building the house that I
Mm.
was raised into. And my mother's one of the type of woman, like this little feisty little French Canadian, would be on the roof with a hammer. Like she's that kind of girl, right? She's very.
Mhm.
So all of a sudden she can't even help with the house. She's puking all the time because of me. She resents the hell out of me. She resents being pregnant. This is what I picked it up, right? So I was born with it, but she continued kind of like brushing me off. My experience. My little brother, 3 years later, on schedule,
Mhm.
she loved him. She loved him. She loved him so much she smothered the hell out of him. And I'm sitting next to him, invisible. Like so that was anyway. So she explained the circumstances. She didn't do it on purpose, right? It was a circumstance
Mhm.
of her life. My
Yeah.
dad was very hard on her. I get that because I know the man. So like to be puking, building a house, out of rhythm, like she resented the whole thing. Okay, well
Mhm.
there's my explanation. So
Wow.
at that
Wow.
moment, she healed me instead of killing me. She in 50% of all that was healed. Like she didn't on purpose. I'm not a piece of crap. You know, it was like circumstantial, right?
Mhm.
So okay, I could do something with this, and that was the beginning of my healing. Honestly, that was like
Oh,
from then it kind of climbed up because I could not take this personally the way I thought. Like
that
it
is
wasn't
amazing.
personal. Yeah.
Wow, that is so amazing. And what you shared there is so loaded to know that you having that courage and needing to really do it for you to
Well,
heal and release for yourself and how your mom was receptive to it. And you told me about how even now, she's lived a very long life and I'm
mhm.
glad to hear that from that point it went upwards. And I see this parallel. Your life is so full and has so much that your life could really be a movie. And so I want to make a transition
Just
because
starting.
we could talk about so much here, but I see a parallel. Here you go as this professional dancer.
Mm.
I mean, dancing for some huge names, Michael Jackson, Prince,
All
Julio
Abdul.
Iglesias, Paula Abdul, and so many more. And you have this shift where you also eventually open up your own auto body shop. We can't even get into that, but it's the fact, yeah, like your life is incredible. But thinking about this healing of this mother son relationship and healing for yourself, I see this direct transition of you as a healer anyway. It's a natural part of you. And so,
Mm,
even with
mm, mm.
you working in this spectrum of helping so many heal relationships. So, this is the transition that I want to make, that you took this shift from dancer, auto body his shop owner, etc., to a certified relationship coach.
Mm.
Share with us, Andre, what what in the world inspired you to make this shift, and how did a piece of your past experiences influence this new path? So I will say, I know that you took a class and a course and it did interest you,
Yep.
but what even sparked you to say, I want to take that course and then go down this path of being a coach?
So beautiful question. By the way, this was the last event. I had like four events in my life that changed
Hmm.
the track of my life completely. Just in one moment changed everything. Again, until that moment, I thought life was random. This was the last one. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, nothing is random. But part of me trying to figure out myself, the world, why, blah blah, is these are 23. I started taking personal development workshops. I was
Hmm.
always in a damn workshop before it was even like popular. My friends are like,
Popular, yeah.
let's go to the beach. I'm like, no, I'm in a
Thank
workshop.
you for saying that, Andre. Listeners, viewers, personal development is not new. It has become trendy, especially since COVID, but
Hmm.
it is not new. A lot of us have been doing it for years. But anyway,
Yep.
go
My
ahead.
friends, my friends always thought it was weird. Like, let's go to the beach. I go, I'm in a workshop. They're like, God, you're so weird. I'm like, no, you go play on the beach. I go and learn some stuff. I'm trying to get my life together. Like, how far do I want to go? And just learning the tools that I didn't
Mhm,
get, really as a kid. And so I knew I
mhm,
could dance. That's all I knew. But how do like, who am I here for, really? Like, what is the bigger picture? There's no way this is just random, right? And that's the pulse that came through it. But that's the thing that always pulled me out of, like, there's something else that's coming. There's something big. Every time I try to quit, right? There's this little tug in my heart that would go, nope, you got to keep going. There's some really beautiful stuff. You're here for
mhm,
big. You're here for big. Okay, what the hell does that mean? But it kept me going. You know what I mean? So, workshop head. I'm always in a workshop. I had the shop at the time. I took the shop, like I took it to the level that I could with the knowledge I had in my head as far as making money. I want to make more money, so I'm in a workshop.
mhm. Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I fly to Northern California on a 3-day workshop about business and business growth and all that stuff. Meet some very smart people, which is great. But this is it. This is the pivot number 4 in
Hmm.
my life. I'm on the plane, 200 people on the plane, flying back to Los Angeles from San Jose, and I'm sitting in the row, like 3-3. I'm sitting with a couple that I met over the workshop. Seemingly random, out of 200 people, we're sitting together. Okay, that's cool. She says to me, "You want to cut? What do you next weekend?" And I go, "I'm free next weekend." Why? She goes, "You want to come to a workshop? It's
It
on
works
me."
out.
That's how it happened. Like, I was just invited. Now, and it was and then I agreed before I even know, because part of my questioning everything is I'm curious about everything. I want to know everything. Like, that's part of my personality. Like, I want to know everything, because the more I know, the more I could, kind of help myself. You know what I mean? So, so after I agreed to a workshop, because I'm a workshop head, and I said, "What's the workshop?" It's called Understanding Women.
Mm,
And that's how it started. Because after that workshop, I went in there thinking it's going to be cute. It was not cute. Like, I think I came off my chair 7 times throughout the workshop. Like, and I'm an artistic guy, so I always naturally attracted sweet women. I didn't do the stuff my friends did with their relationships. Like, I didn't do yelling and screaming and the craziness. I did none of that. So now I'm
yeah.
in the workshop. Damn it, being understanding women, like, what are you going to teach me? I got this. Like, seriously, without arrogance, I was like, it's working for me. This thing is not that hard, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was me, though I couldn't explain it. So, that workshop just threw my on my ear. At the time, I'm married with 2 little kids.
Hmm.
I'm not looking for this. I'm just literally just curious, and I've been invited, so I'm going. But I came home. My wife said I was white as a ghost. I was actually
Wow.
I was upset because I was flabbergasted, because I realized in that workshop I knew nothing about women, which meant I
Mm,
knew nothing about my wife. We're married with 2 little kids. And I realize some of the stuff that I do that I don't mean to do hurts her feelings, and she thinks I know what I'm doing when I'm doing it. So how long can she take that before she hates me? What? And you have to understand, my four siblings are all married and divorced two and three times. Once on four. I
Mm.
have my baby, I have my wife, I have my family, I have my everything is beautiful. Oh, but I don't know anything about her, and there's a lot of stuff that I do that she will take on as me doing it to her, not
Mm.
understanding. Anyway, and I thought it was a huge liability. So my brain went into, I'm not, we're not going to be a statistic because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started. I went crazy, but it was really just for us, for me and her to be good, and the family stay together into this explosion of.
And so what happened was you started sharing things you learned with people you knew. And so in those cases, you started to say, okay, if I'm sharing this, would it be that those very people would end up coming back to you saying that they actually implemented things you were telling them to do?
It started with my friends, obviously, and then my
Uh-huh.
family, and my sister, who's always was challenged with the relationship, and I would like
Uh-huh.
teach her some stuff, and she's like, I remember one time she said to me, "My God, you're so good at this. You probably should do this." And this is when it actually
Wow.
came together because I was learning all this stuff for us, and it was like the more I learned, the more I'm like, oh, I need more, I need more. So that's
Uh-huh.
why I said I work under I work under five masters in the field of relationships that you would know, these famous people that I
Mhm.
work with. Trying to, the more I learned, the more I realized that there was more, and so this teacher, that program, right?
Mhm.
So ridiculous amount of training, but that was, and at one point I didn't know if I'm a body shop owner, right? What am I doing with all this? Because it was, again, my curiosity was crazy until
Yeah.
my sister said, "You probably should teach us. You're amazing at this." And it was like, there it is. There, this is what this whole thing kind of came to. Like this, I had been there. I had to fight for my own life, right? And the funny thing is, every time I took a personal development class as an audience member, right, I would always look at the teacher up front, going, "I could do this. I'd be really good at this. I'd be really good at
Uh-huh.
this." But like having no idea what I could look like. It was something in my head. So when she said that, I'm like, there it is. This is the big thing I'm supposed to do. This is like the culmination of my entire life coming
Mhm.
together with purpose. And that was it. That's when I launched Project Equinox, my coaching company. 3 years later, I had both businesses forever, almost kill me because I try to keep the body shop as a ATM machine. You know what I mean? You can own
Uh-huh.
businesses and not be part of. Impossible,
Yeah.
impossible in
Mhm.
that business. So for 5 years, I was trying to let it run on its own as I'm developing Project Equinox coaching, and it keeps going. And they're both bland. So I had customers coming in my shop to drop their cars, and I'm the guy that everybody spills their beans on. Like I'm just that guy, right? So
Right.
they would drop their cars, and next thing you know, they're, "Bleh," enough
Wow.
so that my employees, I had 6 employees, they knew that if the office door was closed, don't come in, somebody's crying. Like,
Oh my
my
goodness.
God, I know, seriously.
I believe it. So it became an auto body shop slash
Yep.
coaching
Yep.
relationship coaching. So, wow, I could talk to you for hours, and we don't have a lot of time left. But I am
Mm,
curious about this, Andre. What have you seen in your experience? Okay,
yes.
um, and based on what you not only coach, but also on the research, what are some of the most common barriers or one main barrier that
Sure.
people face in building long-lasting relationships, and
That's a
how can they overcome that?
great question. Well, a lot of it is the way we see the world in a different model, right? So,
Mm,
like 10 years ago, the problems that came at me with relationship are totally different than what's coming to me now, especially the past 5 years. Because what happened is, in the name of equality, right? Equal
mhm,
rights, equal pay for women, the feminist movement, all that, fantastic. Sure, give women choices. Love it, fantastic. I'm on your side. But what I saw happen is, in the name of equality, as far as opportunity, it became men and women are the same or should be the same. And we're not, right? We're not genetically in any way similar,
mhm,
but equality became same. So now women are expected, you know, to go girl, boss babe, make some money, push through life, right? Compete in the world. That's primarily a male trait. And the men are raised to be sweet, sensitive, talkative, vulnerable, which, women say they want nice guys, but in the end, they don't feel safe. So they don't really want nice guys. So we kind of like neutralize, the polarity of men and women. It should be more fair. On paper is fantastic. Like, I get it. Sure, of course. Let's equalize the field. It'll be
Mhm.
awesome. But look what's happened. Complete chaos.
Mhm.
Because the polarity of nature, again, everything I teach is nature science, psychology, anthropology, right? It's not my
Yeah.
opinion, but we know that
Uh-huh.
everything in nature is polarized, masculine and
Exactly.
feminine, yin yang, black white. Like, there's a polarity to everything in nature that grows, flourishes, continues, expands. It's polarized. There's always the opposite. Otherwise, one can't exist without the other.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
polarity, whether a woman is masculine and the guy's feminine, or the standard where the man's masculine and one's feminine, is essential for things to be polarized and keep moving energetically. But when we go, right, nothing's happening and people are
Mhm.
confused. Women don't feel safe with men. Men are like, these girls are too tough, right? They're disrespectful. They diss us. They don't want to be vulnerable. It's not working, right?
Mhm.
But everybody's confused because it should be better, and it's the worst. Like, if you look out there, nothing has been more complicated. The biggest thing is people aren't getting together in a relationship. They don't understand what's happening. They don't understand why. So,
And are you finding this primarily, and audience, listen very carefully to what Andre has said, because he and I even talked offline, and what he is saying, even now, I'm no expert in this realm, but as a coach, expert, etc., everything we do in our respective coaching worlds, with me, transformation and resilience, is based on research. And so,
yep.
even though it may sound to some like, huh, what is he trying to say? It's This is research based. And so, my question to you, Andre, is, are you seeing this type of a pattern happening primarily in the US, or is it starting to expand globally?
It's now going global, but
Oh,
it's we're the role models. We're the ones
uh-huh.
kind of leading hard. It's
Western
interesting,
society. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm French, so even though I'm
Uh-huh.
French Canadian, like, our heritage is in Europe, right? So there's there's an understanding of that culture, even though I was born on this side of the world, and in Europe, right? Women could be doctors and they could be lawyers, but they're not masculine. Huh, interesting. Like, they don't lean in with, I don't even know a man. They don't lean in with, boss babe and I want to be in charge. I'm a strong, independent, and powerful. They don't. They appreciate men flirting with them. They appreciate men opening doors for them. They appreciate, you know what I mean? They have no, they somehow they don't have a catalyst where they're stuck on boss that they could do both. We talked about this is also how you live and how you do,
Mhm.
right? There's a balance between, getting things done, which is, conquering, fighting, doing business. That's all. That's the masculine paradigm, and then
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
and then change gears when you stop working, right?
Yeah.
Like this, you have to want to be a woman in the world energetically, and so in the United States, we have women in man mode all the way through. And in that, they can't let go of control. They can't relax. They don't trust men. Men are toxic, dangerous. They're cheaters. You can't trust. So get yourself secure, get yourself some money. And then later on, maybe you'll find a relationship. But they don't understand that later on, it's very, very difficult to build a relationship or even have children when you waited too long, which is another. I like to sound the alarm of what doesn't work, right? Like, culture will raise women to do all of that safety first because men are
Mhm.
vilified. You think about it. If you're going to make half the planet wrong, how's this going to work? How's this going to work? It's not working. And this is what I see. So we
Yeah.
overcalibrated, right? Everything. And again, now it's inside out and backwards. And it's confusing. Women are hurt. They don't understand. I have everything. How come nobody wants to date me and, like, marry me? And right, because you're the man. And
And
masculine men don't
yeah.
want masculine women. So, like, in a nutshell, right? The man that you want don't want you because you're colliding with him. You're masculine colliding with his masculine. It's disrespectful. So you'll attract the sweet ones, but you don't like those either.
And please, y'all, let me already say, I do not want the emails about how could you have him up here, this and the other. I know Andre, and we've also had talks offline about it. And this is what is being shown in the research. And he and I had an offline chat about the fact, um, even prior to the podcast, when we had our podcast screening, I explained to him, I'm 43, unmarried. Explained to him I had a series of relationships, things like that. And I know the way I was raised with personal responsibility, and that I personally, in my life, I can only speak for me. I
Right.
can't blame everything on every man because I allowed certain things over the years. I allowed certain things. My parents have been married 47 years. So I saw a good example of what marriage is and was and should be. Now, thankfully, now I'm with someone who's wonderful. And it took
Yes.
many years to get there. And we
Hmm.
do plan to go in the longer term, etc. But my point is, a lot of these have such deep rooted histories in it, and then we could even break it down culturally. It's so layered,
Right.
but in general, this is the direction that the research shows. And Andre's not putting all of the blame on women either, but it's the
No.
society as a whole, and we could have a whole other episode about that. So as oh my
For
goodness, I
sure.
could
For
have
sure.
back. So, but thank you for that. That could be a chat in and of itself. But as we start to come to a close here, with all of that, how would you advise someone, or help, say, a person at the beginning
Mm.
of a journey toward a healthier, more fulfilling relationship? What would you tell them?
Well, another good question. You're amazing.
Thank
Uh,
you.
though this going with the flow
Mhm.
of what doesn't work and is questioning why it's not working. And the people who get it together are the people who question everything. My clients come to me because they've done the boss babe and they've done the independent, and they realize it doesn't make them happy. Actually, makes them very tired and worn out. They're exhausted. Do you know what I mean? They want some support. They want some help, right? But they've gotten themselves in a place where they can't receive help, right? They're so
Mhm.
like inside out. So you want help, but you won't let us, right? I see that a lot. So that's sort of like where the wheels come off. And again, for most everyone, and you know this, we've all been traumatized by life as children. Just heard my story, but nobody gets out of childhood unscathed, right?
Oh, yeah,
Neglect,
even with us who are from the best household,
absolutely.
still
Neglect, yeah.
experience stuff.
Neglect, abuse,
Yeah.
abandonment of all kinds of stuff. People that have all three plus sexual abuse. I mean, the things that I hear is just
Mhm.
I do a lot of men's work. You wouldn't believe some of the stories. And you wouldn't believe the guy looks normal, and you go, "How are you normal after this?"
Mhm.
Right? So horrendous stories that people have. And so what happened is we know that in childhood trauma, often we get derailed completely. So a little girl, if she has a bad daddy, no daddy, blah blah blah, alcoholic daddy, doesn't feel safe in the world. Like this
Mm.
masculinity is a safety blanket over the household. If she
Mhm.
doesn't feel safe, and the household isn't safe for whatever reason, right? Mom becomes mama bear as opposed to nurturing mama energy, right? And the little girl, literally, without feeling safe in the world, it's a 5, 6, 7-year-old has to man up to survive, right? This is a defense mechanism. So little,
And what about the opposite for boys? What happens to the boy
you,
who
yeah.
doesn't feel safe and
Well,
things like that?
boys don't have a feeling safe paradigm. That's a feminine trait.
Oh.
Men don't have a safety thing at all. You do all the time. You never without it. So for boys, it's without having a daddy role model to teach
Mhm.
him to raise him to be an accurate, proper, devoted husband, masculine,
Mhm.
appropriate masculine strength and power. That's what you need a good man for, to raise a son to be able to calibrate himself. Without that, the boys don't know who they are, right? Boys don't know who they are, and when they're mama bear nurtured, often mama bear is is nurturing on steroids. You know this, right? The mama bear paradigm is provide and protect for the kids. So if there's no husband to make it feel safe, she's got to man up, but then it becomes this pulse of over nurturing, which is good for the girls, but for the boys, they literally are so cuddled and so protected, and no male role model. They become feeling driven like women. They talk like
Mhm.
mom, like so the feminine paradigm kind of moves into them. They can't develop their manhood, and those become the passive, toxic. Those are the dangerous ones. Those are the ones who
I
cheat
got
and
you.
lie, right? So it's not
Uh-huh.
masculinity that's toxic. It's the lack of masculinity in boys that didn't have role models and were overly cuddle. These guys think women are here to serve them.
Hmm.
And in that is it's exact opposite of what nature calls. And this is the problem. And we don't, but again, if you understand that, the family system has been falling apart since the 70s and 80s, right? It explains
Hmm.
everything that we have now. The reason why we can't get in a relationship, a healthy relationship, nobody has the right role models and or traumatized because of the lack of role modeling. Children need both mom and dad energy to be balanced, that you grow up into a person who can do both. But like 80% of the people that don't get to live that way, right? So that explains what's
Hmm.
out there. So it's if you reverse engineer the whole thing, it's obvious what's happened and why it's happening and what the problem is.
Oh my goodness, Andre. I could keep going with you, but I do have
I
a
know.
closing question for you. This is
Just
was
started.
good. Oh my gosh, this is really good. So, on your overall journey as an
Yes.
entrepreneur, dancer, auto body shop owner, relationship coach, personal development workshop attendee, what would you say is one of the greatest insights or lessons that you've gained about yourself that you think can inspire others on their road to transformation?
Well, I say we all have our stuff from childhood. We
Mhm,
all have our trauma and our drama and all that stuff. But if you watch your life being in the loop, right? When you realize, it's always the same ending. Different guy, same result, right? Different girl, same result. Different, even financially in business and stuff. When you watch a loop, you're stuck in a loop. Like I was 27
mhm,
years old when I realized I'm in the loop. I moved twice for different parts of the world to start my life again. No, the same. I keep creating the same. Oh,
mhm.
it's me. Oh wait, it's me. I'm looping myself in, like, so it's what I don't know that's dangerous. So my message would be step in, do your work, challenge yourself, dig, find out why you loop up, you keep producing the same kind of endings because promise you your childhood trauma. If you feel that you're not worthy, you're not lovable, that's for the ladies typically. For men, it's I'm not good enough and I never amount to anything. This is what
Yeah,
drives you and it becomes your loop. So I say basically, it takes courage, it takes time, it takes leaning in, it takes even money, but do your work. I mean,
yeah.
because it's your life, it's an investment in your future. I mean, what else do you have to do all day but get ahead of yourself? I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Exactly. Wow. This has been incredible, Andre. And if people want to say, hey, I'm more curious about who this man is,
Mm,
how can they connect with you? And of course, I'll have it in show notes as
sure,
well.
sure. So I also have two gifts for the listeners.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. So the website is projectequinox.net, and I'm on all social media either under my name or Project Equinox, so you could poke around. And the website has all the podcasts that I do, so there's a lot of stuff to play. But we talked in the beginning, I do podcasts because I'm trying to send the waves of there is a way to do this. There's a modern way to do relationships that could last, a lifetime. There's hope, ladies. There's hope, gentlemen, right? It's to kind of like that, reverse engineer what's not
Hmm.
working and understanding what works better. So there's a way to do relationships in the modern time. Because sometimes I get accused of like, should we go back to the 50s and dumb it down for you guys? I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. Get serious, right?
Yeah.
The exact opposite. And I'm on your side. I want people to thrive. I want people to be happy, right? Women are unhappy and men are lonely and vice versa. So I notice I do podcasts to spread the hope. Thank you for helping me spread the hope and the message.
Mhm.
I noticed there's two types of listeners on podcasts. I had my own for a couple of years. And so this one, and I let the audience kind of qualify themselves. One type of listeners typically are people who are just kind of stepping into this work and are kind of curious. What is going on with masculine and
Yeah.
feminine? I don't know what's that. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean femininity? Like, right? Like whatever it is. Like, people are starting to poke around it. Like, so these are information seekers. So I have a gift if you qualify yourself as an information seeker. I'll send you directly to my email. If you go to Andre Coaching the number one at Gmail, ANDRECOACHING, the number one at gmail.com. In the subject box, you just write irresistible book. Are you ready? This is my gift. I will send you a copy of my of my book. It's called The 5 Feminine Qualities High Value Men Find Absolutely Irresistible. Now, this is something I sell on my website. I'll send it to you listeners for free. Just Andre Coaching One is an irresistible book. It's a workbook, so you have to fill it out as you go. Like, it makes you think. But this is not. This is a result of my work with men. This is men talking, ladies. What they find irresistible, and it's not about your butt or your body or your color. It's none of that. It's energetically what pulls them forward. So, Andre Coaching One, irresistible book. Boom! If you like information. Now, the other type of listeners are typically just more like you said, like, oh, I want some of that. I want to talk to this guy, or something resonated. And if takes a little courage, but not really. Andre Coaching One, and in the box, just write "Talk Now." And what I'll do, I'll send you my calendar link, and we'll have a one-on-one call like this. We'll talk about what's not working, where you're stuck. In 15 minutes, we'll go right to it. This is what I do all day long. We'll decode what happened. You'll realize where the wheels came off. Oh, right? Which means the liberation here is that there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're just a product of this. So if we know what it is, we could fix it. And then if we fix it, what's the dream life? What's the future look like? What is it you want? Family, kids, or just long-term relationships or companionship? Like, what's the dream, depending on your stage of life? And then we'll talk about what that looks like. There's different ways to jump in with me if you want to. But for some people, like, that call alone is liberating. So these are my gifts.
Indeed. Well, thank you for those gifts, Andre, and thank you for your presence here. Continue to do the work you're doing and making waves. This has definitely been wonderful for me. I love our conversation, and I love your personality and just you being authentically you. So thank you again for being my honored guest here on the Power Transformation Podcast.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Power Transformation Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow or subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and write a review. It helps us inspire even more listeners. And don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who could use a little power in their transformation. Until next time, keep bouncing back, keep rising, and be good to yourself and to others.